tout le monde. Good evening, everybody. Bienvenue à notre séance régulière le 22 février 2022. Welcome to our regular council meeting of February 28, 2022. Cette séance du conseil fut tenue à huis clos et les membres du conseil y assistent d'une manière virtuelle conformément à l'arrêté ministériel numéro 2020-029 de le ministère de la Santé et des Services sociaux. We're meeting tonight virtually, conforming to the ministerial decree. I'm joined tonight by Councillors Colleen Feeney, Councillor Lauren Small Pennefather, Councillor Maria Torres, our Director General, Maître Raphael Destasio, our Town Clerk, Maître Claude Gilbert, and our Chargée de Communication, Mademoiselle Elizabeth Roy. Councillor Elizabeth Yulin will not be able to join us this evening. Alors, si je peux avoir quelqu'un pour proposer l'ouverture de la séance, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, Monsieur le maire, je propose d'ouvrir la séance.
Merci, la conseillère Torres. Je peux avoir l'appui, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, Monsieur le maire,
Oui.
je l'appuie.
Merci, la conseillère Fini. Tout en faveur, s'il vous plaît.
Oui.
Oui. Oui.
Councillor Torres is getting a little bit excited.
Je m'excuse.
L'adoption de l'ordre du jour, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, Monsieur le maire, je propose d'adopter l'ordre du jour de la séance ordinaire du lundi 28 février 2022, tel que présenté.
Merci, la conseillère Fini. Je peux avoir l'appui, s'il vous plaît.
Je l'appuie, Monsieur le maire.
Merci, la conseillère Small Pennyfather. Tout en faveur, s'il vous plaît.
Oui.
Oui.
Merci. L'approbation des procès verbaux.
Oui, merci, Monsieur le maire. Je propose d'approuver le processus verbal de la séance ordinaire de conseil tenue le 31 janvier 2022.
Merci, la conseillère Small Pennyfather. Je peux avoir l'appui, s'il vous plaît.
Je l'appuie.
Merci, la conseillère Torres. Tout en faveur, s'il vous plaît.
Oui.
Oui.
Parfait. On va s'en aller directement au rapport du maire. We'll go directly to the mayor's report. Two things, a positive and a negative. We'll start with the positive. Je voulais seulement féliciter les personnes, comme une petite ville comme Montréal-Ouest, mais nous avons eu des membres de notre ville ou des anciens membres de notre ville qui ont participé aux Olympiques en Chine. Et je voulais seulement souligner les sœurs du Fort-La-Pointe qui se sont battues sur les skis alpins. Et je voulais aussi mentionner M. Max Noro. Maxime Noro a grandi ici à Montréal-Ouest, il n'habite plus, il est en Europe maintenant. Mais il a joué sur l'équipe de Team Canada pour le hockey. Alors, au nom de la ville, on est très fiers de vous trois. Et je sais qu'il y en a des autres Olympiens en ville. On est très, très fiers de vous avoir parmi nous. I just wanted to acknowledge a minute the Dufour-Lapointe sisters who competed in downhill skiing in China, the Chinese at the Olympics, the 2022 Olympics, and Mr. Max Noro. Max Noro, even though he grew up in town, he doesn't live here any longer. Max and his brothers grew up playing hockey in the Montreal-Ouest arena. And he was on Team Canada for our hockey team. So on behalf of the town, we're very lucky to have so many Olympians. We even have summer Olympians. But these in particular, I just wanted to highlight them right now and thank them for the work that they did for our country. And on a less happy note, we've all seen the troubles that are going on right now in the Ukraine. I'm not here to make any kind of a political statement, but I'm here to say that our thoughts and our prayers are with the people of Ukraine. There's a lot of Ukrainians that live in Montreal-West. They're going through a very, very difficult time right now. They all have family at home. Et c'est un temps très, très difficile. La guerre est jamais facile. So they can call it whatever they want. They can call it any kind of intervention they want, but the reality is it's a war and people are dying, and that's a real problem. So our thoughts and our prayers are with the people of Ukraine. I think that's it. Alors, j'aimerais procéder maintenant au rapport des conseillers et conseillères. Comme j'avais dit, comme la conseillère Yulin n'est pas ici, on va procéder de la siège numéro 3, reporting from seat number 3 on matters pertaining to finance, recreation, and topics related to the status of an age-friendly municipality. Councillor Colleen Feeney.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And welcome, everyone. Bonsoir tout le monde. I'll just start. I have a very brief finance report tonight. The business team is busy, at work with closing the fiscal year, preparing for the audit of the town and of the pension fund. The first installment of the property tax was due on February the 24th. If you have not already paid it, remind you that the interest is 12% per year. So the sooner you make that payment, the less interest you will be paying. Also in disbursements, you will notice later in the meeting that I will be passing a resolution approving disbursements this past month of $538,076. I like to give you a little bit of a précis every month as to where your tax dollars are going. So in this past month, about 33% of that, $175,000, as usual, went to deductions at source, utilities. And then after that, the next single largest expenditure was for capital, and this was about $90,000. It involved a couple of bills, both related to the recreation center, one for the partial payment for the architects, and another one for consultants in the fundraising area. So that was $90,000. And then after that, it's usually Public Works that has the largest expenditures, and that was true again this month. There was about $170,000, about 31% of our budget went there. The largest expenditure there was snow removal, which was almost $69,000. And also related to that, $27,000 for stone and salt. Most of that was for salt. Garbage removal, $16,000, and other outside contract works, $26,000. And basically all of the rest of the departments, the recreation, public security admin, all told only amounted to probably about 15% of the entire month's expenses. So there was nothing major there. Largest thing there was an IT contract, annual contract for $19,000. So that was where we spent our money this past month. Moving on to recreation, we've had quite a few events, and we had a lot of free snowshoeing events in Strathern Park, and the last one was held on February the 27th. I think they were quite successful. We have a few contests coming up. One of them is the Creative Snowman Contest, and you have until March 4th to build that snowman and to submit your picture on it. And then we're going to be having an online event related to International Women's Day, and it's called Sheroes. So there'll be an online evening of fun, testing your knowledge about the world's most renowned women. And this is free for all residents. And then, of course, we're having the ever popular April 3rd Cottontail Party from 2 to 4. And I'm mentioning it this month because it is very popular and it fills up. So you can register for that on Amelia. Other things you might want to register for on Amelia are spring registration for children and adult programs. We're doing a mixture right now. All the programs will be offered hybrid, both live and virtual. And also drop-in programs. There's one, Baby and Me and Music, with Jennifer Gassol, who's a Grammy Award-winning singer, on Fridays at 10:30 in the community center. And this could be of interest to people, an adult emergency first aid and CPR course. This is always good. And even if you've had it before, it's good to update your skills. It will be offered on April the 30th. At the community center. So for all those things that I've just mentioned to you, please look on Amelia and sign up on Amelia for those events. Currently, right now, March break, the March break camp is going on this particular week during March break for 5 to 10-year-olds, and the camp is full, registration's full. Information about all events and updates have been added to the website and posted on Facebook and in the Informer, so you residents can reserve any of these things, live events or others, just by checking out the website. It's always very helpful. The arena, the outdoor rinks, which were popular again this year at Hodson's Field, Strathern Field, Davies Park, and Rugby. They were in excellent shape for the majority of the month, and the crews are now working hard to restore them after last week with the yo-yoing weather, cold and a little bit rainy and freezing rain, etc. So they're trying to get them up for March break, and so we'll see if they are successful. Pickup hockey and free skate are available all week during March break. Registration, as usual, is available on Amelia. And all programs and contracts resumed in February, and the new free skate schedule for the month of March is available online with pre-registration again on Amelia. Also, one thing I should mention, for the recreation center, it's been very popular. More than 80 people have signed up for the upcoming consultations, as announced in the Informer. And then after the focus group sections are held, there will be a survey available for all residents to complete. For the pool, interested students should start applying for the summer 2022 jobs. They're all posted on the town website, and the interviews started being conducted mid-February. And information on membership programs are online. For pool membership, that is, the information is online, and residents can start registering in March. Finally, on Recreation Day Camp, its registration is currently available on Amelia. It has been very popular for the first 2 weeks, so hurry and reserve your spot before we fill up for the summer. Although priority was originally given to Montreal-West residents, it is now open to all. And the tennis camp registration is already full. Interested students who want to apply for jobs at the day camp, they're all posted on the website now, and we encourage you to apply. And finally, for the seniors committee, and as the mayor said, senior-friendly town, age-friendly town, the activities have already started in March and April. Members have been informed about some of the activities, including bridge, a lecture on Chile, and a documentary film called Resurrecting Hassan. The foot clinic is happening in person, and the next clinic is March the 9th. I guess you'd have to have that one in person, right? And for MATA, there will be a seminar hosted by the Senior Action Committee, and it's going to be on March the 16th at 10 a.m. and it's called Identifying Elder Abuse. So again, that's indicated on our website. And if you need any further information, have any questions about any of this, please feel free to contact me. You can ask me a question at the end of the meeting, or you can email me. So that's the end of my report. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Feeney. Reporting from seat number 4 on matters pertaining to urban planning and the environment, Councillor Maria Torres.
Yes. Good evening. Bonsoir à tous. Since January 29th up to today, 12 permits were issued by the urban planning departments. These permits include a permit to build a swimming pool, a walkway, 2 public domains, and 8 permits for home renovation. The Planning Advisory Committee, PAC, met once this month, and they review 8 files. We'll be talking about those files a little bit later on. I would like to remind everybody that the Urban Planning Department remains operational given the COVID-19 situation, and that you can always submit your permit application only via the town's website. The procedure is very well explained on our site under the resident service. The next meeting or the next deadline for you to submit your complete files will be March 23rd. That's when PAC is meeting. However, to submit the files, it has to be 2 weeks ahead of time. Once again, the schedule is on the website. Please consult the website for what is a complete file, what do you need to submit, and for all the dates. Last, I would like to thank this month, we put a little bit of an ad calling for a submission for people who wanted to volunteer for PAC committee. And we received a few of them, and I'm very thankful. We'll be reviewing all these files quite soon. And I'm looking forward to review them, all the applications, and be able to discuss and talk to you. And as soon as the selection is approved, we'll be notifying all of you. Hopefully this will happen within the next couple of weeks. That's all for me. It's a very short report, and but if you have any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to contact me at Montreal-West.ca. I'll be very happy to answer any questions you have. Merci et bonne soirée.
Thank you very much, Councillor Torres. And reporting from seat number 1 on matters pertaining to public security and urban planning, Councillor Lauren Small-Pennefather. Lauren, you're on mute.
Actually, yeah, this is my cup of the century of orange juice. I needed to remind myself of that. So thank you. Merci, Monsieur le Maire. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Bonsoir à tous ce soir. So I have my report on security to present to you this evening. The PSO department was quite busy moving their offices this past month as they moved from the ground floor to new offices on the second floor. As well, PSO are currently assisting Public Works with our 5th snow removal operation for this season. As you know, we've had quite a few snowstorms that we've incurred over the last winter season. We've issued 18 tickets specifically for blocking or hindering snow removal operations, and about 10 vehicles were towed so far this month. Please, again, keep an eye out for the orange temporary no parking signs if you park on the street, and to observe those ordinances to avoid your vehicle either being ticketed or towed, and as well affecting snow removal operations. PSO as well is continuing to follow up on snow removal contracts. As you are aware, if you're a snow removal contractor in the town of Montreal-West, you must have a permit to do so. PSO is continuing to check on licenses and ensuring that they abide by the town's private snow contractor bylaws. And we will be looking into some complaints in the north part of the town concerning contractors that are using their equipment to move large amounts and large quantities of snow on the street. As well, PSOs had to interview in a few cases where citizens themselves were shoveling snow onto the street with regards to snow removal operations once snow had been removed by the town. So just a gentle reminder again to ensure that snow removal operations run adequately, that people are to ensure that they don't put their snow onto the road, and snow contractors must have their licenses as well. With regards to crime stats, we're waiting for our stats from the SPVM. Once we have those, we'll be happy to share the results from SPVM. In addition to that, we are still looking, as well as probably some more snow that we will have over the next month or so. And we are still having issues with vehicles as well. So please respect the signage, as well as ensuring that we're not taking snow from private properties and placing them on the road, which can impede snow removal. As spring is approaching, we often receive complaints from citizens that want to accelerate the snow melt by removing or shoveling snow off of their lawns onto the street. And again, to please ensure that you're respecting the bylaws, the ordinances as well, so that we can work together efficiently to ensure that we are not encroaching on snow removal operations. And I would just also like to have a gentle reminder again that to please clean up after your pets. We saw during the thaw that we had with the fluctuation in temperatures that there was quite a bit of animal waste left behind. And just to ensure that people are using the public bins to dispose of in the part that says garbage, which is the black part of the garbage town's public garbage cans, to make sure that you put your dog waste in those bins, to ensure that your dog is not leaving waste on someone's private property, especially around the golf course as well. People, please pick up after your dogs. That would be very much appreciated. Thank you. That's all I have to report for this evening. Merci.
Thank you very much, Councillor Small-Pennefather. Excuse me. We're going to go back to our agenda now, and we're going to move on to our question period. So we've asked people to submit their questions online anytime between 10 and 2. And the first question period can pertain to questions on any subject. The second question period will pertain strictly to matters that were on the agenda for this evening. So we're going to start our first question period. First question comes to us from Richard Morin. He wanted to know what was the lowest bid for the architectural contract for the recreational project, and did they receive the contract? The amount of the contract was for $1,928,593 plus taxes. They were the lowest conforming bidder, and the contract was awarded to the consortium Bloin Tardif Co-Architecture. That's a couple of firms put together that submitted on that. And the question, how can he be granted access to this public documentation? He has to Mr. Morin, you just have to file an access to information request via our town clerk, Mr. Maître Claude Gilbert. Okay, thank you very much. Second question comes from Sandra Primiano, 26 Ballantyne Avenue South. Hello, we live on Ballantyne South and have a young daughter. The street requires additional lampposts because there are not enough of them and because they are old and don't emit enough light. We don't feel safe outside on our streets in Brock in the evening as soon as the sun sets. Can you please consider adding additional lampposts? Thank you very much. Normally, I would shuffle this over to Councillor Yulin, who's not here tonight, but I'm sure she would tell you that in your block of Ballantyne South, Mrs. Primiano, we can't just add extra lampposts. It's really at the time when we open up the streets. That's when the lampposts are changed, updated. We've also been changing them over to LED lights. And I know we've had people express concerns about any kind of potential safety hazards with LED lights. But as we've progressed, we've made the latest ones that we've installed much warmer, much less in the bothersome blue spectrum. But that's something that can only be addressed when we're changing the lampposts. We have mandated a light study to be undertaken. We have not received the results of that light study yet, but that light study looks at specifically these kind of things, the kind of lights that we should be putting out, where there are dark spots, where there are too many lights, where there are not enough lights, and we'll adjust accordingly as we're reconstructing the streets. So thank you very much for your question, Sandra Primiano. Next question comes from Linda Hammerschmidt, 226 Ballantyne North. I submitted a photo of Hodgson Field and temporary spring-summer dog run to ensure the numerous dog owners north of the tracks could continue to exercise their dogs after the April 15th temporary, as we dog owners have asked for a permanent dog run park to be included in the eventual arena project design. Given that there must be at least 250 of the dogs belonging to at least 125 owner taxpayers north of the tracks, paying an average of $6,000 each in municipal taxes, our request must be taken seriously. What will you do for us after April 15th? Councillor Feeney, if I could ask you to address the question, please.
Sure. Thank you very much. And thank you for your question, Linda. We do know just by looking that there seems to be extra dogs around since the pandemic. We're going to take a little look at the numbers actually to see how that has changed. As you know, we do have a beautiful dog run just across the tracks. It's not very far walking distance. I do know that the people find that this one in the winter is convenient where it is. We said we would take a look when we are doing the design of the rec center to see if there is a place around there which could accommodate another dog run, because I think you probably know how difficult it was even finding one ideal location for the dog run before. So we will take a look. It won't be in the first phase of the project. I'm sure we're going to have to be working on the design of the building and the sports facilities, but we will definitely take a look and try to see if there is a way that a dog run can also be incorporated into that. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for your question.
Thank you very much, Colleen, and thank you very much for your question, Linda Hammerschmidt. Next question comes from Rieta Hassanen, and also the same question was asked from Harold Knowles. Dear Council, the adapted swing from Strathern Park has been gone since the beginning of the pandemic. Could we please have it back soon for our not able-bodied population? Thank you for your consideration. And Mr. Knowles asks, when will we see the return of all the swings in the Montreal-West parks, especially those in Strathern Park? Colleen, can I ask you to answer those questions, please?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for your questions, Rayada and Harold. Yes, well, first of all, I'm glad you like that adapted swing. It really was very popular. And yes, it will be installed back in Strathern Park. And yes, Harold, all of the swings are going to be installed in the parks at springtime when the equipment is being replaced. Unless there's any changes to government regulations, we expect that it'll be the parks will be filled with all the equipment and hopefully lots of kids. So thank you very much for your questions.
Thank you very much, Councillor Feeney, and thank you for your question, Rita Hassanen. And Mr. Knowles had a second question. Why are we considering a ban on the burning of firewood in our houses? Fireplaces and the continued allowance of them to be used is one of the desirable characteristics living in Montreal-West. They contribute a minuscule amount of air pollution and are needed in times of loss of power or heating. Councillor Torres, can you address the question, please?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Harold Knowles, for asking this question. We're looking into the banning or coming up with a bylaw to deal with the burning of wood in the house. And you're right, it is very attractive to have a fireplace. However, there are two main reasons, and one of them is environmental and the other one is health related. The environment, if I recall well, a lot of, it contributes a lot to this urban smog, which is of course not good for the environment, but it's not good for the health either. Those microparticles or those very small particles are really not good for health, especially for people who has problems, respiratory problems such as asthma. However, we do recognize, and for example, the city of Montreal, they are allowing to burn their fires when when we have electrical outages, for example. So we do have to balance the pros and the cons, and that's what we're in the process of doing. Actually, we do have two councillors, Councillor Feeney and Councillor Yuling, who are working right now in a draft. And as soon as that is done, it will be presented to us, and then we'll be able to present it to Montreal-West. But as I said, it's not, we don't know what it's going to look like, but I don't think it's going to be a complete ban, but we do have to balance the environmental and health issues in this equation. Okay, thank you so much, and I hope I answered your question.
Thank you very much, Councillor Torres, and thank you for your questions, Harold Knowles. Next question comes to us from Jennifer Melnick, 140 Ballantyne South. My question is about the rising incidence of gun violence in Montreal. I'm often hearing loud bangs at night, seemingly coming from west of our area. Is it fireworks or gunshots? There was an article by CTV News in October that listed Ville-Saint-Pierre as a location for a new surveillance camera to be set up to combat gun violence on Camille Street between Roulette and Saint-Pierre Avenues. This is only a few blocks away. What steps has Montreal-West taken to prepare for or prevent gun violence spilling over into our streets? Thank you. Councillor Lauren Small-Pennefather, if you could address the question, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for your question, Ms. Melnick. Of course, we're very concerned about the rise of gun violence across the country, the City of Montreal included. As you may be aware, there's been budget by the City of Montreal that's been allocated to address the situation with SPM and a number of youth organizations to look at how we can curtail gun violence. I can speak with our Commandant as well, with our PSO, to confirm whether or not the sounds you've been hearing are gunshots or fireworks. My understanding is that there seems to be a significant amount of fireworks that continue to go off, regardless if there's an occasion or not to celebrate. But we can work with our PSO to get some more information and bring that back to you. In addition to that, our former Commandant, who was responsible for Montreal-West, is now responsible for the borough of Lachine. And we do have a very good working relationship with that Commandant, and we can work together. In addition to that, there was a resolution that was passed in 2018 with regards to gun violence, basically supported by legislation going forward by the federal government. There were 3 actions coming out of that resolution that were directed to the federal government. We delivered on all those specific actions in that specific resolution. Again, we will continue to work with the SPVM, who has jurisdiction with regards to gun violence in educating as well. I recognize, as well as the rest of council, that we are in close proximity to Bill St. Pierre. We will continue to work with the SPVM to ensure that we get statistics shared with us as well, and we can share that with residents. But we do share your concerns, and I appreciate you raising that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Small-Pennefather. We're going to go on to the next question here. Excuse me. Next question comes to us, and thank you for your question. Sorry, Jennifer Melnick. Next question comes to us from Norbert Badusha, 457 Wolseley Avenue North. Considering that traffic along Westminster has been an ongoing nightmare, and that the train crossing issues are a reality that no level of government wants to address. There have been many close calls at the given intersection, and many children use the intersection on a daily basis without proper regard to the potential danger. There are 3 pedestrian crossing points on Westminster between Sherbrooke and Milner. I would strongly ask and suggest that the pedestrian crossing at Sherbrooke and Westminster be blocked and pedestrians redirected to either of the ones at Milner. Councillor Small-Pennefather, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Badusha, for your question with regards to the crosswalks on Westminster. As you may be aware, EXO is looking at addressing some of these concerns through a plan as well to mitigate some of these issues that are going on with regards to pedestrian safety on Westminster. We know that that is a very busy corridor along Westminster and Sherbrooke. And EXO will be looking to address this in the coming year with a number of plans that they have to offset some of the issues we're having with traffic safety in that area. And again, once we reconstitute our traffic and safety committee, this will be something that we'll be discussing as well at the table. And we do share your concerns. So again, thank you very much for raising this at council. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Small-Pennefather, and thank you for your question, Norbert Badusha. Next question comes from Ellen Moore at 122 Percival Avenue. First question, Elizabeth, what response did you get from Public Works about the use of salt? And if it was negative, how do you reconcile that response with Montreal-Ouest's efforts to help the environment? And 2, why is my tax money not going to help the library relocate to the new community center? Ms. Moore, you've asked these questions, both these questions have been asked and answered. I'll let Elizabeth get back to you again if she has anything new to add, but we've already answered both of your questions in detail. Colleen, I don't know if you want to add anything concerning the library, or if you're good with the response we've already given.
Oh, well, we did respond. You're absolutely correct, Mr. Mayor. But just to reiterate, in case there was some viewers who didn't hear that, is the grant that we received actually for the recreation center was specifically for sports and recreation facilities and not for a cultural one. And that's why the library was not included in that particular building right now. So hopefully that answers your question again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Feeney. Thank you for your questions, Ellen Moore. Rachel Ricci, 224 Westminster. Parking on Westminster North is overwhelming and frustrating. I live near an apartment complex, and my neighbor rents her home to many university students who all have vehicles. Will you consider adopting a zoned parking structure like West Mountain and DG have? This has nothing to do with snow removal, and as a matter of fact, the town has been doing a great job in that area. Councillor Small-Pennefather, if you could address the question, please.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much, Rachel, for your question, and also for the kudos with regards to the snow removal. It's very much appreciated. We'll make sure to share that with staff. With regards to parking on Westminster, we recognize that Westminster at certain times, peak hours during the day, can be quite busy, and therefore a number of vehicles are parked. My understanding is, though, overnight that there should be ample parking to park your vehicle overnight, and there are some side streets that can accommodate you during the periods where it's more busy. We can take a look at this as well with regards to parking at the Traffic and Safety Committee, in addition to council looking at this. I would like to mention and take this opportunity that we're wrapping up candidates for the Traffic Safety Committee. Again, if you have an interest, to please send me an email with regards to your background, with regards to traffic safety. We're looking at traffic engineers, project managers, and the like who've had experience with traffic management. I would like to also take this opportunity to thank those who've already sent in their candidacy for the committee, and for those who have served in the past. It's very much appreciated. Thank you for your question.
Thank you very much, Councillor Small-Pennefather, and thank you for your question, Rachel Ricci. Last question comes to us from Laura Cousineau, 239 Percival Avenue. In the December council meeting, Mayor Masella was asked what plans were being made in regards to the proposal for pollinator gardens in Montreal-West put forward by the Environmental Action Committee. Mr. Masella promised to follow up and that we would look into plans by Public Works. It may not feel like it yet, but spring is around the corner and gardeners are making plans for the upcoming growing season. Can you please give us an update on the town's plans to date? Also, could you publish the Mayor's Monarch Pledge signed by Mayor Masella on the town's website? Yes, the pledge will be published on the town's website, so you'll be able to find it. I know last year they were able, though they did not set up a separate garden, as such a separate pollinator garden, I was told very clearly that they included many pollinator-friendly species of flowers in the existing gardens. Whether they're able to get a separate garden done this year, I don't know. I can't promise that. But at the very least, you can be sure that there will be pollinator-friendly flowers and different variety of flowers in our existing gardens. I wish I could give you more details right now, but I can't. But we have made some steps and we will continue making steps forward. And I will ask that the pledge be published as well on our website. Thank you very much for your question, Laura Cousineau, and thank you for all your questions. Well, I'll continue back with our agenda. We're on number 9, contracts in the town clerk's office, Earth Hour 2022.
Whereas the Earth Hour is a yearly international event sponsored by the World Wildlife Fund, whereas this event is intended to increase public awareness of the importance of saving energy to fight climate change, whereas in 2021, municipalities in 190 countries participated in this initiative, I move that the town of Montreal-West agreed to turn off all non-essential lighting for 1 hour on Saturday, March 26, 2022 at 8:30 p.m. Secondly, that all residents of Montreal-West be encouraged to join this event in the same way. And thirdly, that the town of Montreal-West invite all Montreal Island municipalities to take part in the Earth Hour 2022.
Thank you very much, Councillor Torres. Can I have a seconder, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I second that.
Thank you very much, Councillor Feeney. All in favor, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Administration and Finances, approval of disbursements for January 29th to February 24th, 2022, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I move that the list of accounts payable from January the 29th to February 24th, 2022, totaling $538,076.63 be approved and paid as listed.
Thank you very much. Councillor Feeney, can I have a seconder, please?
I support the motion. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Small-Pennefather. All in favor, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Délégation des pouvoirs pour le mois de février 2022, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, merci, Monsieur le maire. Je propose que soit approuvé le rapport de la directrice générale concernant l'exercice des pouvoirs délégués en vertu du règlement numéro 2005-002 pour le mois de février 2022. Merci, Monsieur le maire.
Merci, la conseillère Small-Pennefather. Je peux avoir l'appui, s'il vous plaît?
Oui, je l'appuie.
Merci, la conseillère Torres. Tout en faveur, s'il vous plaît.
Oui.
Oui.
Merci. Budget transfers.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I move to approve the following budget transfers according to the recommendation of the treasurer, so that the corresponding expenditures as of December 31st, 2021 be charged to the operating budget of the last fiscal year instead of the earlier appropriations stated. First is $61,227.38, new recreation center project, which was for long-term financing. Secondly, $12,283.53, new traffic lights, Avon Road project, which had been allocated to unallocated surplus.
Thank you very much. Councillor Feeney, can I have a seconder, please?
I second the motion, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Small-Pennefather. All in favor, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Subvention 2022, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, Monsieur le maire, je propose que la Ville de Montréal-Ouest accorde les subventions suivantes pour l'année 2022. Bibliothèque pour enfants de Montréal-Ouest, $87 159. Bibliothèque publique de Montréal-Ouest, $93 000. The Informer, $19 000. Conseil des services communautaires, $5 000. Dr. Robert Drummond, nos racines, notre patrimoine, $250.
Merci, la conseillère Feeney. Je peux voir l'appui, s'il vous plaît?
Oui, je l'appuie.
Merci, la conseillère Torres. Tout en faveur, s'il vous plaît?
Oui.
Oui.
Merci. Urban Department, Site Planning Projects and Architectural Integration Program.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to move to acknowledge receipt of the minutes of the meeting held by the Planning Advisory Committee, PAC, on February 23rd, 2022. Number 2, to approve as presented under the SPAIP, the following plan submitted to the meeting in accordance with the recommendation of PAC as outlined in the minutes. 63 Ainsley, replacement of the front veranda windows and 2 mudroom doors. 336 Brock North, replacement of 2 windows. To approve conditions under the SPAIP, the following plan submitted to the meeting in accordance with the recommendations of PAC. Address project 68 Valentine North, elimination of a kitchen window. 484-486 Westminster North, installation of a garden shed. 70 Nelson, construction of a porch in the front yard and side. 227 Brock North, installation of a skylight on the side of the roof. And to defer, number 4, to defer the examination of the following plans to the next meeting of council in accordance with the recommendations of the PAC outlined in the minutes. Address project 24 Garden, reconstruction of the front landing stairs and railings. 227 Brock North, replacement of the front door.
Thank you very much, Councillor Small-Pennefather. Can I have a seconder, please?
Yes, I second the motion.
Thank you very much, Councillor Torres. All in favor, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. We have a minor exemption request, 227 Westminster North. I'm going to ask Councillor Small-Pennefather just to give a quick précis. I think this is for a sale of a property. So,
Exactly.
Small-Pennefather.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is in accordance with granting a minor exemption with regards to a standard real estate transaction, and therefore the minor exemption was approved. Thank you.
So if I can have somebody move the proposal, please.
Yes. Sorry. D'accepter les plans soumis à la réunion du comité consultatif d'urbanisme tenue le 26 janvier 2022, conformément aux dispositions des règlements 2020-002 et G18-0005 et les demandes suivantes de dérogation mineure à la grille de spécification applicable sur l'article 3.2.2 ainsi qu'au paragraphe 6 de l'article 4.1.10 du règlement de zonage en ce qui traite à l'immeuble situé à 227 Westminster Nord dans la zone RD-1 afin de régulariser la marge de recul arrière du bâtiment principal qui est le 3,95 mètres de lieu du minimum requis de 6,1 mètres dans cette zone, ceci ayant pour effet de réduire cette norme de 2,15 mètres. Afin de régulariser la marge de recul d'une galerie située à l'arrière qui est de 3,12 mètres au lieu de minimum requis de 4,3 mètres dans cette zone, incluant l'emplettement d'admis, ceci ayant pour effet de réduire cette norme de 1,18 mètres. Merci.
Merci, la conseillère Simon Pennyfather. Je peux voir l'appui, s'il vous plaît?
Je l'appuie.
Merci, la conseillère Torres. Tout en faveur, s'il vous plaît?
Oui.
Oui.
Merci. Public Works, awarding of contracts for a separate collection for recyclable materials. This is for our recycling contract, our blue bin contract. We had a contract that the contractor was not able to renew. We were not able to exercise our renewal options. So we went back out to tender. We did a joint tender last time with Hampstead, and we did a joint tender again this time with Hampstead. So we have the results of the tender, and we are issuing the contract tonight. So if I could have somebody make the motion, please.
Yes, Mr. Le Maire and Mr. Mayor. I think we're very bilingual this evening. So whereas the town of Montreal-Ouest and the town of Hampstead have launched joint public call for tenders for the purpose of awarding a contract for separate collection of recyclable materials, whereas the tender document provided that each municipality would issue its own contract as a result of the process, whereas the tender document also requested bidders to submit prices of 2 of 3 designated weekdays, each municipality having the right to select one of these 3 options, whereas 4 tender documents were ordered and 3 tenders were received and verified, whereas the contract is for the collection and transportation of secondary recyclable materials once a week. Therefore, I move that the contract for the collection and transportation of secondary recyclable materials from April 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2024 be awarded to WM Quebec Inc., being the lowest conforming bidder, for a total amount of $442,968.79, including taxes, on Tuesdays in Montreal-West. And second, that the expenditure authorized by this resolution be charged to budget code number 02-421-00-492. And third, that the mayor and the town clerk be authorized to sign an agreement with the selected contractor on behalf of the town in accordance with the provisions of the documents forming part of the call for tenders, as the case may be.
Thank you very much. Councillor Feeney, can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Torres?
Yes, I second it.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Councillor Torres. All in favor, please?
Aye.
Thank you very much. And just so everybody knows, that contract is more expensive than our last contract. I think if I remember correctly, you correct me, Councillor Feeney, it's $40,000 more a year than what we were paying previously.
Yes, I think
Okay.
it's about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's unfortunately it's market conditions. The contractor that had it before could not renew the contract, and we went back out to tender, and this is the reality we're facing right now. Human resources, nomination permanente d'une colle bleue.
Okay, oui, Monsieur le Maire, je propose que l'employé numéro 489 soit nommé permanent dans un poste de classe 3 avec effet depuis le 21 février 2022.
Merci, la conseillère Feeney. Je peux voir l'appui, s'il vous plaît?
Oui, je l'appuie.
Merci, la conseillère Torres. Tout en faveur, s'il vous plaît?
Oui.
Oui.
Merci. A designation of a pro-mayor for the months of April, May, June, and July. Normally, we do this on rotation. We do this in 4-month rotations. On the off chance that I'm not able to attend an agglomeration meeting or some other important meeting, the pro-mayor has the powers by this resolution to replace me at those and to undertake other responsibilities I may have. So if I could have the last persons who held the office were, starting from the most recent, were Councillors Yulin, then Feeney, and Councillor Torres, and before that, Councillor Dino Mazzoni. So if I could have somebody move the motion, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I am pleased to approve that Councillor Maria Torres be designated to replace Mayor Benny Masella on the Agglomeration Council as necessary, and that a copy of this resolution be forwarded if needed to the Agglomeration Council, and that Councillor Maria Torres be appointed pro-mayor for the months of April, May, June, and July 2022. Thank you. It's a bit out of order, Mr. Mayor. I apologize they're
No
supposed to
problem.
read.
And then this appointment takes effect on April 1st, 2021. Okay, so if I could have somebody second that motion, please.
Yes, I would second that.
Thank you very much, Councillor Feeney. All in favor, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Second question period. So second question period, as I'm looking right now, I don't have any, we haven't received any questions. So if I could have somebody propose to close the meeting, please.
Oui, Monsieur le maire. Je propose le lever de la séance. Merci.
Merci, la conseillère Penny. Father, je peux avoir l'appui, s'il vous plaît?
Je le prie.
Merci, la conseillère Torres. Thank you very much, folks. Merci. Oh, sorry, all in favor, please.
Oui.
Thank you very much, folks.
Yes.
I'm sorry for the little bit of giddiness we had tonight. I apologize for that. So thank you very much for being with us. Merci d'avoir assisté ce soir. We'll see each other again in 4 weeks at the end of March. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good evening. Please keep safe, keep well, and keep healthy. Thank you. Merci tout le monde d'avoir assisté ce soir.